I've spent the last few years working for one of the largest shockwave clinics in North America, and I've learned a thing or two about the power and untapped potential of regenerative medicine. But the march towards a future where sickness is healed from its root cause is challenged by the influence of big pharma and their deep pockets. So now we're forced to answer questions like, how do we get rid of joint pain, take back our performance in the bedroom, and heal diseases from the inside out without band-aid medications or negative side effects? This show will give you the answers. Follow along as I interview the world's top experts and doctors and how they transform their lives and their patients' lives using the newest advances in biotechnology. I'm your host, Austin James Wolf, and you're listening to Modern Biotech Radio. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Modern Biotech Radio. So today, I'm talking about Trimix, and if your doctor prescribed you Trimix, they have failed you, okay? Listen, erectile dysfunction is completely reversible. How do I know this? I have level 1, 2, 3, 4 proof, and then a bit of level 5 proof. Now, what are the different levels of proof? If you haven't been watching the show, level 5 proof is like the gold standard. That's clinical studies. There are clinical studies that show that you can reverse your erectile dysfunction with shockwave therapy, with acoustic wave therapy, even if you don't respond to the pills. Now, there's a problem with the way that healthcare is ran today, and one of the problems is your doctor thinking that the first thing they need to do is prescribe you medication. If you're a doctor listening to this right now, you're probably woke, and you probably read studies, and you're probably not under the influence of Big Pharma, and you probably know what the hell you're doing if you're watching a show like this. But if this is your first time on this show, and all that you do is prescribe your patients pills, I got news for you. Shame on you. If your patient tells you a problem, and the first thought that comes to your mind is, what pill can I give them? Shame on you. I'm going to let that sink for a minute. Pills have problems. They're Band-Aid solutions. They don't fix the root cause, okay? So today I'm going to talk about Trimix, which is probably the worst of them all. And as far as the level of proof that I have in front of me, if you can see my screen if you're on YouTube, I have what's called Successful Self-Penile Injection Hints, Questions, and Answers. This is for patients who are interested in getting Trimix or want to know more about how they can treat their erectile dysfunction. And this is from urology.ucsf.edu. So this is like an official urology paper that the Department of Urology has released. And so if you're a urologist and you give your patients Trimix without trying acoustic wave therapy or hormone optimization first, also shame on you. You're failing your patients. I get so mad. Okay, so let me back up. So I work with Novus. We're the largest shockwave provider in North America, and we reverse more erectile dysfunction as a one-location clinic than any other one-location clinic in North America, okay, period. And one thing that we see all the time is patients, they come in and they have what's called Peyronie's disease, and we treat and we reverse Peyronie's disease. There's literature, there's white papers on that, proving that acoustic wave therapy can reverse Peyronie's disease. And by the way, acoustic wave therapy is the FDA name for it. Shockwave, low intensity extracorporeal shockwave therapy, or shockwave therapy for short, is the medical name for it. I use those terms interchangeably because if I just use shockwave therapy, the FDA would hate me. If I just used acoustic wave therapy, the medical community would hate me. And so just so you know, those two terms are interchangeable, okay? FDA likes acoustic wave therapy. Medical community likes low-intensity extracorporeal shockwave therapy, right? So they're interchangeable. The difference between the devices all depends on the bar, the energy signature that comes out of the devices. But today, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Peyronie's disease and Trimix. And if your doctor prescribes you medication as a first line of defense, shame on them, okay? They failed you. So back to the story. We see a lot of Peyronie's patients. We reverse Peyronie's patients all day, every day. And we noticed this is anecdotally, okay? So unfortunately, you will have to take my word for this. About 50% of the people that come to us with Peyronie's, just to give you a backstory, Peyronie's is curvature in the penis caused by scar tissue. And that scar tissue kind of curves the penis in a weird way, right? And the way that people usually get Peyronie's disease is injury to the penis. And that injury can be usually a sexual accident. Most of the time it's a sexual accident or sports injury. We had a guy who we actually treated with the Rocket. The Rocket reversed his Peyronie's disease. His name's Ron. He has a testimonial somewhere floating out there. But he had Peyronie's disease because he was hit down there with a ball during I forget what sport it was, but during sports he was hit there with the ball. And he developed Peyronie's disease, which curved his shaft, and it also gave him a form of erectile dysfunction, okay? So we were able to reverse it just with the rocket itself. Which is great, but I'll get into that later. So it can be caused by injury, or it can be caused by trimix or quad mix, depending on what your doctor gave you. But trimix is a combination of 3 different chemicals that they have you inject into the penis, which causes an erection. Now, for some guys where the pills don't work, the first time you hear about this, you might think, man, well, I can't get an erection anyway. I might as well try this, stick a needle into my dick. Unfortunately, it can cause Peyronie's disease. And even if you're looking at this study right here, or this information released by the Department of Urology right here by the University of California, San Francisco, the University of California, San Francisco, their Department of Urology literally states in this paper that one of the side effects of using Trimix is Peyronie's disease. They know it. They're giving you Trimix, and they know it's going to cause Peyronie's disease. Now, a little caveat, in this paper, they say it may cause Peyronie's disease. That's fucking bullshit. Pardon my French. If you inject a needle into your dick, it literally says it can create scar tissue and create Peyronie's disease. The more you use Trimix, the higher risk you're going to have of developing that scar tissue. Not only do I have level 4 proof, we see it in our clinic all day, every day. Our patients tell us that. And it even says in this paper right here, okay? So I'm just going to go down. You can read this paper. This will be in the show notes. But I'm going down to... they have some very interesting... photos on this paper, so if you're listening, you might maybe not check out the YouTube video, but if you're watching, sorry about that. This will probably be rated X for my language anyway. Okay, problems. Redosing may cause priapism. What does priapism mean? I opened up a new browser. Persistent and painful erection of the penis. Who wants that, right? Here's another one. Can lasting damage be done to the penis by the wrong injection technique? Can just one injection, if done incorrectly, cause permanent damage? Yes, although it is rare, they say, scarring can occur in Peyronie's disease. That is bullshit. It's not rare. 50% of the people we saw with Peyronie's disease developed it because of Trimix. Okay? Let's do another one. Do infections ever develop from injections? How common is this? This happens very rarely. Okay, so... They just go on to say, oh, it's not that bad. I remember, can just one injection cause Peyronie's disease? Okay, here it is. If too much medication is injected, or if the medication is injected incorrectly, it is possible, but not likely. Okay, so basically what they're saying here is they're trying to take the blame off their shoulders. They're like, look, if you do it wrong, you might likely cause Peyronie's disease. Okay, first of all, it's not that likely because we see, I don't know, maybe we have a bad sample size because all the people that we see with Peyronie's disease, 50% of those people, and there are a large amount of people within our clinic that have Peyronie's disease, but 50% of those people develop it because of Trimix. How are you supposed to know if you're doing it incorrectly or not? They said they didn't do it incorrectly. How are you supposed to know that? Are you really willing to take that risk? So anyway, here's why I bring this up. Oh, and then they also talk about Xiaflex. Okay, first of all, look, they say right here, the FDA has approved an injection that can dissolve the scar tissue and help straighten the penis. It is called Xiaflex. This is what they don't tell you about Xiaflex, a treatment for Peyronie's disease. We've had people come into our clinic that had Peyronie's disease, and they injected themselves with Xiaflex, and it shrunk their penis. Now, I haven't looked into if there's level 5 clinical data for this, so, excuse me. So I don't know yet if there's level 5 clinical data. I didn't look into that. All I know is people in our clinic have told us, so that's technically level 2, level 3, and level 4 proof. People have told us they had scar tissue, they injected their penis with Xiaflex, and it shrunk their dick. It shrunk it. The enzyme that eats away at the scar tissue decreased the size of their penis. Our nurses can attest to this, and in some cases, those guys, they're fucked forever, right? But in other cases, when we were using acoustic wave therapy on them, some of the length started to come back, which is quite interesting. Now, again, I haven't read any white papers on this, so there's only level 4 proof based on myself and the nurses that treated them with acoustic wave therapy. So take that with a grain of salt. So I just want to be level-headed with you, and you should always question people who make claims by asking to see the white papers, okay? So if I get enough people asking me to see the white papers, I'll go look for some white papers, or you can go look it up yourself, okay? But other than that, I'm telling you anecdotally what has happened in our clinic based on what our nurses have told us, and if I'm lying to you right now, I could go to jail for a very long time, so I'm not lying to you, because that would be against what I'm trying to do here, which is spread information, okay? True information. So The whole point of this is I'm just trying to get the message out there that if your doctor is prescribing you Trimix, shame on them, run away, okay? Because if they haven't heard about acoustic wave therapy, they don't care enough about you to keep continuing their research and keeping up on the latest advances in biotechnology and how they can treat erectile dysfunction. I don't know if I should make this claim. We reverse more erectile dysfunction than many urologists do, because many urologists, what they do, if they don't use shockwave therapy, in fact, one of our chief medical officer for Launch Medical, the chief medical officer for Launch Medical is a urologist, and he uses acoustic wave therapy, and he reverses erectile dysfunction because he is actually treating the root cause of ED, which is a lack of blood flow, okay? That's about 80% of the causes. The other 20% are about mindset and hormone optimization. But the overwhelming majority of cases, people that have erectile dysfunction, it's because of the microplaque buildup in the blood vessels of the penis, which acoustic wave therapy gets rid of the microplaque and helps regrow new blood vessels. There's tons of clinical data on that. There's lots of it. So if you go to getmyrocket.com, you can see a lot of clinical studies based on that. But if a urologist doesn't use acoustic wave therapy and they're not currently using it, I mean, look, I'm going to look into the camera right now. If you're a urologist and you're watching this and you treat patients with erectile dysfunction and you're not using acoustic wave therapy, shame on you. Okay, it disgusts me. In fact, I had something completely different planned for today's episode, but I literally woke up this morning and, I woke up quite early and I just started thinking about how urologists give people Trimix, and then we see the patients, we see the fallout from urologists giving people these medications without dealing from the root cause. We're the ones that have to clean up the mess. The urologists fuck up their patients and we're the ones that have to clean up the mess. It just really angered me. I got on a downward spiral of just anger. I was like, these fucking doctors who don't want to use shockwave therapy. No, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of doctors and urologists who are using shockwave therapy. We love them because they're actually fixing their patients. Okay, they're actually reversing the problem, not just giving them a Band-Aid medication. So anyway, I'm going to get off my high horse. If you want to see this this paper that the University of California, San Francisco sent out from the Department of Urology saying that Trimix can cause Peyronie's disease, I'm including that in the show notes. As far as if you already have Peyronie's disease and you're looking to correct it, acoustic wave therapy is the only thing that we use because Xiaflex, which is FDA approved, by the way, the FDA doesn't tell you they can shrink your dick. We have a lot to say about the FDA. But now, don't get me wrong. The FDA wants to keep you safe, right? That's the whole point. They just want to keep you safe. That's their whole job, right? Unfortunately, they don't care about side effects, right? They just want to make sure it doesn't kill you. So I'm going to do a whole episode about the FDA pretty soon, about where their intentions lie and why they approve drugs that oftentimes end up killing people. They actually retract more drugs that kill people than approve drugs into the marketplace, which is very interesting. So anyway, yeah. So if you want to learn more about acoustic wave therapy, in fact, here's what I'm going to do for you. This is a Novus show, but GetMyRocket.com has literature on acoustic wave therapy to correct Peyronie's disease. In fact, I'm going to go there right now. So bear with me if you're watching the YouTube show. If you're listening to this podcast, all that I'm doing is I'm going to this website called GetMyRocket.com. They sell this thing called the Rocket. It's the first home-use acoustic wave therapy device, and it's corrected Peyronie's disease. It also corrects erectile dysfunction. There's 4 studies. Here's one of the studies. Shockwavetherapy.eu is the website, so it's the European Union. European Urology, my bad. Effective non-invasive modality for Peyronie's disease. Is low-intensity shockwave a favorable modality in the treatment of Peyronie's disease? That's the name of the study. It was published in 2015. Listen to this. If you're watching the YouTube video, you're going to be... I'm highlighting it right now. If you're listening, all the patients... This is from the study. All the patients had improvement in erectile function, 100%. 30% that had painful erections, 30% had painful erections, and all of them were relieved after the therapy. Okay, so this is what they're saying. All the patients that had Peyronie's disease saw improvement in their erectile function. 30% of that sample size had pain associated with Peyronie's disease. Peyronie's disease can cause pain from that scar tissue and the curvature of the penis. The 30% of that sample size that had pain, 100% of them had relief after the therapy. So I'm also going to include this in the show notes as well. It says right here, LISW therapy, low-intensity shockwave therapy, seems to be a safe and effective non-invasive modality in the treatment of Peyronie's disease and its subsequent complications. Okay, so you can go ahead and read the study yourself. It's insane. If you're a urologist and you're not using shockwave therapy, shame on you. Again, I'm so pissed that these doctors and urologists aren't using this therapy. It works. It literally works. Here's a study. This is level 5. This is golden standard proof right here that it works, okay? So I'm going to jump off my high horse now. You can see these studies. I'm going to link them in the show notes. Go ahead and do your own research. But if you have Peyronie's disease or if you're considering Trimix, take a look at acoustic wave therapy because if you have erectile dysfunction, there's also studies that acoustic wave therapy can reverse ED even if the pills don't work for you. I'll be doing another video on that shortly, but you can look it up yourself on pubmed.gov. I encourage you to do your own research, okay? Do your own damn research. I almost dropped another F-bomb. I'm quite a favor of those right now. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, if you want to see some behind-the-scenes interviews and learn more what advances in modern biotechnology can do for you and help reverse erectile dysfunction, improve your sexual performance if you don't have problems there, reverse joint pain, and actually repair your lungs as well. If you want to learn all about that, go to modernbiotechradio.com. I have some free information for you there. You can also see some behind-the-scenes with some expert interviews. I interviewed a bunch of experts, and there were some things that couldn't say publicly, but I was able to get them to agree to record in private. So if you want to see those private interviews, just go to modernbiotechradio.com. You can get them for free. Cool, guys. Thanks for watching. Are you a guy that wants to upgrade your sexual performance using the newest advances in biotech, but don't want anything with negative side effects? Listen up. If you've been in this space for a while, you've probably heard about low-intensity shockwave therapy, or as the FDA likes to call it, acoustic wave therapy. Over time, your blood vessels down there start to build up with microplaque. This is what drags down your performance over time and is the leading root cause of erectile dysfunction. But acoustic wave therapy has been proven in dozens of clinical trials to safely break up and remove the microplaque with no side effects other than improved blood flow in that area. It can also cause angiogenesis, which means the formation of new blood vessels. So, if you get acoustic wave therapy down there, it can help reverse the effects of aging and help you get more blood flow than ever to that area. Unfortunately, you have to take time off work, take off your pants in front of a nurse, and get this treatment once a week for 6 to 12 weeks. And you have to pay around $500 for every treatment. That's $3,000 to $6,000. Most men couldn't afford this, or didn't live near a clinic, or were even too embarrassed to get treatment. I know this because I helped run the largest shockwave clinic for sexual performance in North America. That's right, we've done more treatments per clinic than anyone else on the continent. But we wanted to help people who either couldn't afford this treatment or didn't live near a clinic like ours. So we teamed up with a brilliant inventor who found a way to turn this revolutionary treatment into a home use device called the Rocket. That's just as effective as the $40,000 devices used in clinics around the world. Now, you can get this life-changing treatment in the privacy of your own home and at a price that's finally affordable for virtually everyone. Just go to getmyrocket.com to learn more. After we made the Rocket, we tested it on a force plate to make sure it had the same energy output as the $40,000 machines used in clinics like ours. It did. Then we tested it on ourselves. Once we knew it worked and was safe with no negative side effects, we ran our own clinical trials on our patients. Every man and their partners saw an improvement in his ability to perform in the bedroom. If you'd like to upgrade your performance in the bedroom, just go to getmyrocket.com to learn more. Forbes has already called the Rocket a multi-billion-dollar industry disrupting device because guys don't need the blue pill after they use it. And biohackers who are looking for that extra edge don't need to pay $3,000 to $6,000 anymore. If you'd like to learn more about this revolutionary device that's now making waves in the medical community, just go to getmyrocket.com. Doctors and urologists are now even prescribing the Rocket to their patients. But you don't need a doctor's permission to upgrade your sex life. Just go to getmyrocket.com to learn more. If you'd like to upgrade your performance safely and effectively with no negative side effects, but don't want to take time off work and drive to a clinic 6 to 12 times and pay $3,000 to $6,000. If you'd like to avoid all that and upgrade your performance in the privacy of your own home, check out The Rocket. Just go to getmyrocket.com. I'll see you there, Rocket Man.